The tobacco is fed to the machine from PMD through the tobacco pipes and stored in the tobacco hopper on the machine. The tobacco flow will stop when the hopper has been filled. Here you can see the tobacco hopper filling. When full, the hopper flap will open to fill the pre-distributor. This process will repeat until the pre-distributor is full and keep doing so while the machine is running. The tobacco is then carefully picked up by the steep angle conveyor, ensuring it is covered with an even layer. The tobacco transported by the steep angle conveyor then falls loosely into the bulking chute. The tobacco is removed from the bulking chute via the needle roller and placed onto another belt as a carpet of tobacco. This tobacco is then fed to an accelerator roller where it is drawn up onto the suction chamber via vacuum. As the tobacco is conveyed from the suction chamber, the endless tobacco rod passes the trimmer. The trimmer removes overfed tobacco from the rod so that no more tobacco is used than is necessary to obtain the cigarette's target weight. This endless rod of tobacco is now fed onto the garniture. This is where it will meet up with the cigarette paper to form an endless cigarette. To form this endless cigarette, we need a constant supply of cigarette paper, and these come in the form of 5,000 metre rolls. Automatic bobbin changers ensure a constant supply of paper, as these will run the bobbins down until a set dimension, then rotate the carriage to allow the fitment of a new bobbin. When the new bobbin has been fitted and threaded correctly, the machine will automatically splice the new paper with the previous one. The cigarette paper then carries on to the printer. This is where the cigarette branding is applied, as the paper passes through the print die and the impression roller. The printed cigarette paper then carries on up to the garniture, where it meets the endless tobacco rod. The garniture is where the endless cigarette is formed. Glue is applied to the seam of the endless cigarette rod and then sealed using the two rod heaters. The next stage, the endless rod is cut into a double cigarette so it can be transferred to the first cut drum. This is the first cut drum, where the double cigarette is cut in half so the filter can be inserted later on. This is where the newly cut cigarettes are separated before they can be joined with the filters. The filters are automatically sent to the machine and stored in the filter hopper. The filters in the hopper are 6 filter lengths long. They are fed into the filter transport drum and held ready to be cut into 3 double length filters. These 3 double length filters are then aligned into a single row so they can be inserted between the cigarette rods. We now need the tipping paper so the filter can be permanently attached to the cigarette. The tipping paper comes supplied on 3,000 metre rolls, and constant production is ensured by an automatic bobbin changer similar to the one for the cigarette bobbins. The tipping paper is passed over the glue roller where an even coat of adhesive is applied. The paper is then cut into small patches using the tipping knives. These knives cut the tipping paper into even sized patches that will be wrapped around the circumference of the filter and cigarettes. The cigarettes and double length filters are now transported to meet up with the tipping paper. This is the rolling drum, and its purpose is to roll the tipping patch around the cigarette, permanently attaching the filters. Now we have a double cigarette that needs to be cut into 2 individual cigarettes. This is the job of the final cutting drum. Because of the production process of the cigarettes, we now have half the cigarettes facing in the opposite direction. This is the purpose of the turning drum. The cigarettes are fed onto the drum and the rear track of the cigarettes are turned, so now we have all the product facing the correct direction. Before the cigarettes exit the machine, they are checked to ensure they have been produced to specification, so they are transferred to the inspection drum and any cigarettes found to be out of tolerance will be rejected. The cigarettes are now ready to leave the machine and carry on their journey to the packer.